Okay, so good morning again, everyone. Just to introduce myself, I'm Vaibhav Nahar. I'm heading the Learning Experience Division in Imagine XP. Along with me is Ruchit, uh, who's also part of the Learning Experience team. We have Rajal ma'am, who's part of our operations team. And we have a few other members which I see who are part of this event today. And our speaker, Shashikant, who we will just introduce in some time. Um, so the topic for today's session is how can one actually create a UX portfolio? Uh, as you know, with the COVID crisis, the education space has completely transformed and everything has shifted online. Um, so we are, and it's gone into creating a much more hybrid way of learning. So we're all here gathered here virtually as again uh, uh, in the social distancing age, and looking forward to everybody getting the kind of learning that they require in order to build up their career. Over to you, Ruchit. Ruchit, would you want to add a couple of words before we start?
Yes, Labhav, as you have highlighted, I guess my internet connection is unstable. Can I stop my video? Am I
Yeah,
audible?
yeah, yeah.
One second. So, as you have highlighted, Vaibhav, there are a lot of opportunities for UX designers, especially in Indian market, as it is very distinctive and different in terms of ethnicity, cultures, languages, and diversity, which gives a lot of opportunities for UX designers. Basically, they can design apps for businesses in Indian marketplace, as India is considered to be the third best ecosystem for startups. They can design digital interfaces for regional languages, and they can design for interfaces for Hindi, matlab, for Hindi languages as well. As Indian rural population is moving towards digital interfaces, mobile and web interfaces, it gives a lot of opportunities for UX designers to make their career in UX design industry. I hope this sparks a few thoughts in the attendees, and that is why Imagine XP is telling them to join UX to cap that untouched market of UX in India. For those who don't know what Imagine XP really does, basically Imagine XP is a leading design institute. It is a design education organization. From last 6 years, we are making students learn design, and we have almost certified 15,000 plus students who have been certified with Imagine XP, and there are almost 2,000 plus students who have been graduated with MDes and BDes full-time degree program.
Ruchit, I think you went on mute. Yeah.
Sorry, Vaibhav, I think my internet connection is unstable. So the concept for today's, am I audible now?
Yes.
So the concept for the today's session is to have an interactive session with our guest, Shashikant Kalsa, who is a UX and design thinking consultant with Imagine XP. I will introduce him after a minute or so. Basically, we have almost around 50 plus questions that we received for the before this session, which we have already shared with him. And I would request the attendees, if they have any more questions, they can basically interrupt in the middle of it, and they can keep this conversation as interactive as possible. For basically, we have also Mahesh with us. If you have any follow-up questions post this session, you can connect with him. We will
You
also
say
put down his contact details in the chat section below. Also, there is a one announcement which we need to make. Basically, MDes UX admissions are still open, and experience digital market will have a pronounced growth by 2025 in comparison to other traditional courses like in medical, engineering, architecture. So basically, it is a good career option for a design students. And if you wish to apply, then you can visit imaginexp.com/universities, or you can simply connect with our university counselor. We will flash her number as well on the chat section. We are also on the brink of introducing many specialization courses in cybersecurity, AI, and ML, animation and game design, robotics, fintech, data analytics. Hence, we request you to stay connected with Imagine XP and upskill yourself for 21st century skills. So, for as we come to the topic of today's discussion, like how can one build a UX portfolio without any work experience? We would like to tell you that we have received almost 89% upward from 2100 plus Instagram audience. That is why we took this topic, because basically it is considered to be as a main problem for students and working professionals, like how they can build a strong UX portfolio, and basically highlight the same to the recruiter. We will also cover this topic in depth, but let me introduce you to our speaker. He is Mr. Shashikant Khalsa. He's a UX and design thinking consultant, trainer, and an entrepreneur. One second. Basically, he has a 17 plus years of experience in the design industry in managing creative and building teams. He has also successfully found many startups, and interestingly, like CodeQuay Technologies Private Limited, which is a creative firm working towards implementation of UX and design thinking for startups and enterprises. Along with answering today's questions we have received from registrants, I would appreciate if Shashikant can introduce himself and basically share his professional journey with our audience. Let's ideate this session, guys, and let's make this session for an interactive one. With that, Shashikant, over to you. Hello. Hello. Am I audible, Weber?
Yes, yes.
Hi, thanks.
Okay.
Sorry, I was on mute and I was talking. Thank you so much, Richit and
That
Vaibhav.
is fine.
Thanks for the
Thank
introduction.
you.
Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Super, super, great. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the session. And, thanks to Imagine XP for taking this initiative and, helping us share knowledge and build a platform where primarily, we understand and we share our knowledge, help community grow and, make UX more uh, popular to the people and let us make some more better solutions. So great to connect with you all, and I see a very good crowd today. And primarily, the idea is to have a more interactive session. So here's the breakup how we would be kind of flowing next couple of hours. I have a quick, some documents and PPTs to bounce back to you so that I can share some of my insights. I primarily have around 20 years of experience in the corporates, and from last around 1.5 years. I've been running my own startup. I've been delving myself into product and innovations on the cutting edge and digital developments, primarily playing in augmented reality, IoT, and automation. I run a startup called CodeQuay, and I'm CEO of that. But along with that, I also consult with Imagine XP on design thinking and user experience. So that's a quick brief about what I do. So I'll be kind of sharing and imparting whatever I've learned in the course of time with all new guys who are coming to the industry. I'm all open if you guys want to pause me sometime, or I'm even okay if you want to we wait for the session to end. The next couple of hours, we will be kind of having a Q&A, and we will be talking about, various concerns and issues that you feel on creating a portfolio. So that's how the whole journey would be. Just a double check on the audio and video and screen. Guys, you can see my screen and you can hear me clearly. Is everything fine?
Yes, Shashikant, we can hear you.
Super, great. Thank you so much for the confirmation.
Yes.
So coming to the screens, I have a couple of screens to just browse through, but I'll be, talking primarily about what does employers think when we create a portfolio. So portfolio is something which is, yeah, and let me, before I start, you guys have any questions? You want to put it on chat? My chat window will be continuously open on the second screen, and I'll be looking into your questions if there is something as an issue. So, and if you are not able to hear, if you have missed something, you can put it on chat. While we'll open the mic after say an hour and 50 minutes time, and then we can actually discuss out and hear out the concerns and questions. So, portfolio. Coming back to the stuff, what I've been told by Vaibhav and Ruchit, that the session primarily talks about the people struggling, people are trying to get into UX industry, and how should they create portfolio. You are new to UX, you have recently learned about the processes, and you want to create something, but actually you have not executed projects. So what should you do? Should you create something hypothetical? Should you create a dummy project? Or you should wait for some actual hands-on and then create a portfolio? So before I jump on that arena, let us try to understand what actually a portfolio is, and what is an expectation of why portfolio. So when we talk about why portfolio, the reason for creating a portfolio arises from the requirement that generally raises in a corporate or in startup or a job profile that needs us to create a portfolio to position ourselves. So what is a portfolio? A portfolio is primarily, I would say, a showroom of the skills that we have. Now, if you look into all the guys who are right now, there are multiple profiles here. There are some visual designers who have upgraded themselves into UX. You have learned UX recently, and you wanted to upgrade yourself. So there's a 5 years, 6 years visual design, graphic design experience. Add on to that, you got a UX skills now. So that is one kind of portfolio. There are few people who are fresh grads from college, wanted to delve themselves into IT, and UX is something that they found interesting. So you got into UX. So you are a fresh grad and a UX guy. There are people who are developers who have, some coding experiences, front-end coding, back-end coding, and they have got into UX. There are few people who are, got into from a very different domain, something like banking, or for that matter insurance, and then they wanted to get into IT, so they have got into UX. Somebody from army has come into UX. So various type of profiles keep traversing, they transit from one domain to another, and they try to get into this. But what is the beauty of UX is, the kind of flow or the workflow or the processes that we get into is primarily threefold. One is identifying the problem. Second, getting your whole problem solution done, wherein you think of how to tackle that problem, and then lastly deliver the whole thing that is feasible. So for this you don't need any knowledge of any specific thing, but primarily understand how you can break down a bigger problem to a smaller problem, and then create a smaller solutions, join them together, and create a one full package of a solution. That's what UX is all about, right? But the kind of domain that I spoke about, everybody comes from different domain, everybody comes from different skills, different experiences, and the way of tackling the problem, the way of getting into innovation is something unique in each and every user. So the point I'm trying to make is, although you guys are, you are landing on a UX platform, the kind of solution and the kind of mindset, the kind of experiences that you bring in is very unique. So every individual is unique. So when we talk about every individual being unique, why shouldn't every portfolio be unique as well? Why shouldn't your portfolio talk about your primary skills? So that is the point I'm trying to make. And more importantly, it is more than a CV. It is primarily a document which reflects your personality, which reflects your attitude, which reflects your risk-taking ability, which reflects your overall approach towards problem solving. So a portfolio is something which is not only a project document, but it is also can the rest of the guys please put your mic on mute? Thank you so much. So it is a document which actually reflects multiple things when you pass it to a corporate, an MNC, or a startup or a company which is actually seeking for a profile which can actually fulfill a job requirement. So think it from that perspective. I'm just trying to paint a picture in which will actually make you think that a portfolio is just not a creative document in which you're projecting your project, but it also talks about multiple things. It talks about, how you are actually taking the whole stuff to a next level. It actually should reflect your experience. It should reflect your attitude. It should reflect your risk taking ability. It should reflect your, the way to problem solving, all these stuff. And that is how, when I have been to the other side of an interview table where I've been actually hiring people, that is what I look into the portfolio. I see it not only from the type of projects you have done, but I see it from a perspective that, how much this guy has an intent to get into an innovation line, or rather he wanted to take a risk by choosing something which is, different. What was the persona for what he was creating a solution? And has he tried something new? Has he tried something, a different? While the processes of the UX still remain same, whether it is 6D, 5D, 3D in various companies, various organizations, the framework remains unique, but the ultimate, the process still remains strategy, design, and delivery. That's how generally the flow is. So it doesn't matter whether what you're following, but what matter is, how are you actually taking the whole problem statement to a problem solving stuff. So does your portfolio actually takes it to that level? Right? So think it from that perspective. Your portfolio is not only your project representation, it also talks about your experiences that you are bringing. So if there is a visual designer who has turned to a UX, if he creates, his visual design skill should definitely reflect on that thing, because you would not be happy if your visual design skills are not being utilized when you are in a job profile. If I'll tell you there are two jobs, one in which there is, a lot of creative things is needed, and, you would be asked to work on Photoshop, create some beautiful things, and that's job profile A. And there's a job profile B in which you would be asked to get into the field, do a lot of research, do a lot of documentation, create PDFs and PPTs. That is the second type of profile. A visual designer turned UX experience guy, which job profile would you love to get into? Of course, A, not B, because you want your past 5 years of experience to be actually utilized. And what you're doing, you should love what you're doing. And the reason you have spent your 6 years of time out there, you should be actually taking that experience and building your further future, career and on that. So if you're not reflecting your past experience into your portfolio, how would you think that somebody would actually choose you for that kind of a profile? So definitely your past experience should reflect on it. So this is one of the takeaway. You guys I will be giving you some takeaways of this seminar, and we'll be talking about it. While we have received, more than around 80 plus questions, some of your questions I might be answering while I'm presenting it. So please take a note of it. If there's something very specific, we'll talk about it in the coming couple of hours. If you look into the whole packaging of a portfolio, it primarily falls down into, three modules. I would say content, which is process, research, and strategy, visuals, and last is the overall presentation. Now, let's start from the bottom, the process, research, and strategy. Now, everybody is aware of, we have our patented 6D process in Imagine XP, and we recommend that to be used because that helps you to break down the UX journey into very specific, modules and create an output which gives you very precise measurements for the projects and the problem statement. When we do that, your process of a research becomes very solid. Your strategy becomes very, very precise and defined. And then when you create solution on the basis of that, the output is definitely going to be good. Now, everybody learns about, so strategy, design, and delivery. But is it that you would be, from the past experience, whatever we have learned in the past, is it that we will be masters of all? We will be able to execute everything? If I quickly stop and ask you to put on your chat, what is one thing that you would be, happy to land yourself into, or you would be doing that? Is it the three folds of the UX journeys? First is a strategy, second is design, and third is a delivery. What kind of preferential you would have in terms of, delving yourself in the UX journey? Let's have a quick 10 stuff. Teja says design. Yes. design, Malika, Hari design, Prerna design, Prashant design, Hussaini design. Most of you guys are coming from visual design side, I look, and I think visual design is something design. So you are saying that being a UX designer, design is something which is core and you would be actually delving yourself into design. But when you are creating your portfolio, does that mean that you would not do research and design? Arindam, Ritika says research, very nice. Mangesh says content. Okay. Anirudh says product design. So guys, the three parts are primarily the three sections of UX. First is a strategy, second is a design, and third is a delivery. I am looking for these three stuff. So anything as in content or a product would actually fall under partly design and strategy part. Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is you all are seeing that you have your own liking area, you all have your preferential area, and when you say that, your portfolio should reflect that section. But does that mean when you send your portfolio, if there is a company which is looking for a core researcher, so imagine kariye, there's a Google job opening and he's looking for a UX researcher, and you have created your portfolio from the perspective of design, would these guys select you? Right? Somebody says no. Yeah, Vikas says no. Malika says no. So you would be not selected for that thing. Why? Because your profile of a UX is design heavy, not research heavy. But at the same time, we all have our liking. And would you be happy in that job? Let me ask you another question. If you are even got selected, if you created a portfolio which position yourself as a researcher as well, and you have a liking of a visual design, would you be actually happy in that job 3 months, 6 months down the line? No. You hate that job. You hate your manager. You fire your manager. When you come back home, you punch your manager. That's how the stuff is. So what is the solution? Any guess? What is the solution? What should we do? How should we create our portfolio? Cool. So I think we all are confused now. Super. So what I'm trying to say is, the point that I made earlier is we all come from a various kind of experiences from the day we are born, the way we have brought up, the way we have lived our life to the till second when we are having this webinar. We all have experienced life in a very different way. And we all have our own unique experiences. We all are very unique profile. We have our own likings. And when we want to get into a job, there are two reasons why we get into a job. First is we want a career. Second is we want to make money. And if these two things are not happening, we will not be in that job. We don't like that job. We don't, get there. So when to make money, you have to perform. To perform, you should like your job. And that is how the whole kind of, cycle works out. Now, when we all are very unique profiles, when you get into a UX design has three different verticals, what I talked about: strategy, design, and delivery. We cannot be masters of all. We are mixed bag people. There might be somebody who is 40% researcher, but 60% design. There might be somebody who's 60% researcher, 40% design, or there might be somebody who's a 40% researcher, 30% design, 30% delivery. Also good with documentation, guideline preparations, and creating set framework for the developers and UI designer actually to take the wireframe to next level. So somebody should be actually doing it. So according to some responses I have got, equal balance of design and research. Very nice. Yes, that is what I've been talking about. You should incorporate visual design in such a way that it shows UX also. Very nice. So Swapnali says that. So these are some good insight. While you guys are, preparing your portfolio, keep in mind that what is what you're liking, what is the kind of job that you want to land up into. And you should be presenting yourself not only heavy on a visual design, but you should present it as a mixed bag of that I'm 40% researcher, I am remaining 30% or 40% visual designer, and I am 20% good delivery guy who can create a good guideline. Because at the end of the day, a UX delivery happens in forms of PDF, PPTs, and report documents, which has been created from the output of the research that you have done and the innovation in the design that you have done. So if you have not documented that well, your whole research, your whole innovation goes in a vain, because if developer has not got the right documentation in his hand to translate the design to a right type of a delivery or a development coding. So it is very important that you should actually look into all the aspects of it. So when you create the content, the last layer of the pyramid that you're seeing, make sure that your presentation is not only design heavy, but it definitely talks about some part of the research, some part of the delivery as well, strategy and the delivery as well. But since we all are unique, we have our liking, make sure that the higher percentage is of your liking area. Because if you are making your strategy heavy and your design level, say 20%, because you made it that way, your portfolio was created that way, you would be selected for a strategy role, but at the heart you are a visual designer, and you would not end up in a very happy job profile. So it's a very good balance that you have to create when you create a portfolio about how a visual design, how a strategy, and how a delivery has been put into your portfolio, so that your profile looks very balanced. That while this guy is good in design, he also understands the strategy part, but he can also deliver the whole definitions of the research and the outputs and the reports in a very well documented way. A good tip on the content side. So I think I'm good with that. You guys, are you guys clear? Did I make sense? Quick nod on yes. Yeah, good. Thanks. Then comes the visual design. A visual design is the second layer, which primarily talks about it is not the visual design of the project, but it is the overall look and feel of the portfolio. And overall look and feel of the portfolio is your portfolio at the first glance looking good? Is there a design balance? Is there a color theme? Is there a visual language to your design? Is there the way you have represented it? What is the trend these days happening? What is design trend of 2020? And any quick research you guys have done? You guys are following it? Design trend of 2020? We all have been inside home lockdown. Have you guys noticed? Dribble में क्या चल रहा है? Behance में क्या चल रहा है? Minimalism, okay. Dark mode, yes. Neomorphism, yes. Flat designs, correct. Subtle animations, line animations, flat design. Cool. So you guys have noticed that all these are the trending things, and these things are actually changing on the basis of how technology is taking a precedence, how the coding and the other stuffs are taking precedence, and accordingly every year there is a set of design trend which kind of set the industry trends in way the various representations happens, whether it's a mobile application, whether it's a web application, or it's a software or a solutions of various types. In 2021, major transitions happening. AR is kicking back. Virtual reality is taking very big things which have been in very 1 or 2% kind of scenario, is taking a very large scale. It is moving from 2 to 3% to 30 to 40% kind of a market. Good devices which were not in the reach of a people are coming up. LiDAR technology, iPhone 12 already launched with augmented reality depth camera, which will actually bring a lot of augmented reality introduced. With all these things happening, how do you think this will actually impact the design? How do you think visual design approach will change? So keep that thing in mind. You guys are already doing it by following the trends, but shouldn't your portfolio also be reflecting that, so that you are actually in trend with that? Now here's a question. When you create your visual design of the application, what it should be? Should it be futuristic? Should it be to the current trend? Or should it be something which is fading off? What should you follow? Futuristic, current trend, or something which is like already there in the market? Current trend, okay. Okay. Current trend, futuristic. Current trend plus futuristic, right? Okay. Both current and future trends. Okay. Yeah. So one thing that you should keep in mind, the reason I asked you this question is the portfolio that you create, decide out an age for your portfolio. When I say age, after how much time will you decide out that you should change this portfolio and redo the whole thing? And that totally depends on what way you adapt, whether in terms of, because the UX will remain same, it has remained same, the whole process, the content layer will remain same from last for 30 years, 40 years, it is like that. It evolved from manufacturing industry, and now it has reached to a digital industry. It'll remain same. But visual design layer, that change every year, that changes very frequently, and you guys must have noticed how it has changed. बेवल फोटोशॉप का बेवल कुछ समय पहले बहुत पॉपुलर था, आजकल कोई पूछता भी नहीं. People say if somebody puts that thing, people say you're old school. How has that changed, right? So that means the bottom layer remains same. This layer needs to be revamped continuously, and that revamping totally depends on what is the trends happening. And when you say trends happening, what is the age of your portfolio that you are creating? You should design that thing. You should define. If you have decided that in 6 months I will be changing my portfolio, I think going with the current trend makes sense. But if you decide that I will not change my portfolio for a couple of years, then I think you should be, not be doing that thing. You should be actually creating the whole stuff in such a way that, the whole portfolio should last for that long. The design should be created in such a way that it will be not becoming obsolete from the trends in a short duration. Right? So think of that thing. So whatever you guys actually typed on the chat totally depends on how much is the age that you're defining for your portfolio. What is the age of your portfolio? And then I think tools and techniques are various, and you guys are expert into that. You can definitely get into that. Next, come to the presentation layer. How is a visual design layer different from the presentation layer? Any inputs? What do you guys think? Any inputs? Any questions? No? How is visual design layer different from the presentation layer? Let me repeat the question. Coordination with developer, leader, sorry, okay. Portraying yourself finally, okay. Attracting and getting contracts. Presentation means presentation with everything, okay. Series of good visual designs. It's a guideline for future design, okay. So presentation is the overall packaging of your portfolio. Our product here is the overall product is portfolio. Storytelling, very nice. Framework, good. Overall idea, very nice. So these are some good points. So guys, what is our product? Our product is our portfolio. When we talk about the content is something which is the last layer. Then comes a visual design. That's a visual language or a theme, the color, the font, the typography that you would be picking up. Presentation is something which comes as the content strategy, the flow, the technique that you use for packaging the overall thing, bringing the overall narrative. Very nice. So showcasing of your talents. Some good points are coming up, and I think these are some good insights for everyone. And since it's a chat, you all can actually pick up these points and keep it in mind. Take a note of all of this, so that will be also acting as a pointer when you create your portfolio. Good. Or outcome and conclusion. Okay. Presentation is something which actually makes you unique. And I have done this with my batches and my students in the past. And I want to quickly give you, since it's not possible to do it one-on-one, because I generally do it with every student one-on-one. But the presentation is something which actually makes an impact, or stands you different in the crowd. And when we talk about that, the presentation layer is actually which makes your face in a crowd so imagine when a job requirement is raised, and multiple resumes and portfolios have come to a manager to select. How does he selects your resume and keep it aside to call you for an interview? What is that one decision? Is it the content that he would go through very thoroughly? Is it the good look and feel, or is it the type of project that you have put in, or is it a good presentation layer that you have, the way you have actually crafted it? And how does that presentation layer reflects you as an individual? How does it talks about, at the initial slides I talked about your attitude. How does it talk about your risk taking ability? How does it talk about your communication skills? How does it talk about your intent to delve into more detailed research? That is what I'm talking about. Is it actually reflects on multiple things on the second and third layer as well, but presentation is something which kind of is a door, is the first entrance, which kind of attracts the attention of a selector, right? So here is a tip. The tip is 99% of the portfolio that you see are textual, image, and graphic. Textual, photographic image, and vector graphic or illustration. 99% of the portfolio you pick up right now from Behance, Dribbble, these are created using these three things. How does your portfolio, have you seen some marketing collaterals? Have you seen advertisements that comes through? Every advertisement, they try to put maximum effort that it looks different, so that it can grab an attention of a consumer to buy that product. Why do they do every time different? The idea is to catch the attention, to have an eye to that specific product, or to remember it that way. Either it is done by audio, either it is done by music, either it is done by adding a celebrity face, or either it is done by the way it has been rendered in terms of color corrections, or locations, or various type of techniques used to grab an attention of a consumer. If your consumer is the selector of a UX profile, how would you grab his attention? Of course, content plays very vital role, yes. But what other ways? Can you, I'm now going a little creative. I'm going, instead of being adaptive inside the box and thinking within that, the way of creating portfolio from the edges, let us go a little out of the box. Can we create a short film of a portfolio? Instead of having a long scrollable image PPT slide, can we do something innovative? Yes, that's what Anishka is saying. Can we do origami and create a portfolio? Can we create a character which kind of works as a host, a genie which runs the consumer through your portfolio, or runs the selector through your portfolio? That is the presentation layer I'm talking about. It talks about how different are you packaging or you're presenting your whole portfolio, the work that you have done. How was the research done? Right? So think about that. That is what is a presentation layer. 3D animation, motion graphic, n number of ways. You talk about it so the point I'm trying to make it, instead of going with the very traditional way of image, photographic text, and a Photoshop or a vector illustration, think of you representing or presenting your portfolio, packaging your portfolio in a different way. That is the way you grab an eye of a selector. And of course, your visual design and content will talk about it, but that is the output of a project. We are not talking about so if imagine Savan app का अगर आपने UI बनाया है, तो उसका visual design being represented by a host character traversing the journey in an infographic way. two different type of visual design we are talking about. One is a presentation layer, second is a visual design of the overall project. Understand that and try to think about how can you package your overall portfolio in very different way, right? Good. I think I made my point. Let's move ahead. It's a collection of your work in a pictorial format, a resume document which summarizes you in the text format. I think we already talked about all of these things. Principles of design, yes. Something that you should definitely not miss on not having your portfolio. You should definitely have, a balance, the various rules of design, just all principle, try to implement that thing. Talk about, while you're talking about the content, make sure that these things are, whether it's a content strategy part, whether it's a visual language part, whether it all these from the industry, because when somebody who is looking at your portfolio is an experienced guy in the industry, and he would definitely look into these nuances of, whether you're following a typography rule, whether you're following a visual design rule, whether you're following a color balance, you're looking into a, various type of design principles. Does the portfolio reflect those things? So do not miss on that. Keep that thing in mind. How do you share your portfolio? What kind of document it should be? PDF, PPTs, your own website? How should you actually think of packaging that thing? Your portfolio should actually be prepared, keeping in mind how does it reaches. Don't generally we get into a scenario where it is looking good to me. I think it will look the similar way to the selector also. But try to understand what kind of environment is selector sitting in. 99% of the time, MNCs and the corporates and the companies have their internet firewall, which blocks most of the website. Most of the time, they are not able to receive files in format of PDF and other stuff as an attachment. It kind of goes them to, in their junk folder, or IT companies, IT infrastructure scans those documents. So before you start sharing this thing, take a confirmation. Don't blindly just send them something that I have sent it from my side, you should receive it. No. Confirm it with your selector or the person who's at the other side. What format would they prefer? What is that is allowed in their environment? What is it that they would be, happy to have, so that it is whatever you are creating in the way you are looking into it in your environment should be exactly reflecting in their environment. Then only you will be able to make ये जितना मेहनत किया है वो वहाँ impact create करेगा. If it doesn't, imagine you did excellent work, you created a very good animated PPT and you have sent it to them, and the firewall blocked it, deleted your PPT, and he only received a blank email with some text. Just you did not do a very small due diligence of confirming what kind of file format is allowed. Your whole mehnat is gone. You can't see that guy. That guy can't see your document. So a very very quick and due diligent of, and it varies from organization to organization. आप 3 organization भेजोगे, 3 शायद अलग-अलग format मांगे. Behance का portfolio कई सारे organization में Behance doesn't open. It is blocked because it has a lot of multimedia material, it has a lot of video material, not allowed for the company employees to see that thing. Not allowed. क्या करोगे आप? आपका link आपने भेजा, block हो गया, it doesn't open. That guy can't see all the mehnat that you did for creating your portfolio. So please make sure before you send your link, and it varies. So there is no one single thumb rule that works out. It is a due diligence that you will have to do before you send your portfolio to these guys. Some quick, so make your project document interesting. Storytelling is a very good tip. When we talk about, the flow, generally, if you look into the projects or any solution that you create, it primarily has 3 stages. First stage is the problem definition. Second stage is about creating a solution. And third stage is how did it benefit the user. Primarily, it's a case study. It's a case study document that large corporates create for the solutions and products that they create in the industry. So your portfolio is also a case study of the various projects that you do. Now that can be a mobile app, that can be an IoT solution, that can be a web solution, that can be various type of solutions. But when you create your portfolio, try to cover these 3 phases: problem statement, solution, how it benefited the business or the end user. And if you put this and package this well in a storytelling way, this is gonna make a huge impact on the person who's looking at your portfolio, because he will understand कि किस तकलीफ के लिए आपने क्या solution बनाया, और वो solution बनाते समय how did that actually you took an additional effort for, whether it's in innovative way, whether it's in understanding the technology strength, whether it is by understanding the psyche of a user, whether it is by understanding going to the core location and understanding the core problem. What are the various efforts that you do to create that solution? Let's take an example. Garbage problem in Pune. Garbage collection in Pune doesn't happen in the right time. There are dustbins overflowing and smell across the society. The problem statement. You create a solution. What did you do to create a solution? Talk about that thing. How did you do a user research? How did you talk to various type of people? What is the major insight that you gain out of that research? And out of that research output, what is the beautiful solution that you created, represented? And then talk about how it started when you implemented it. How did it benefited the users? So there was a problem and there is a solution and people are happy. There is a sad phase and there is a happy phase. The journey of that thing. That is how you make your whole portfolio interesting. So think about the storytelling, think about the flow of every package. Important tools for designers. Yeah, I think you guys already know this. XD has been updated very well, and these days it's becoming very popular. Sketch Azure. Azure goes to a next level where you can do variable level of programming. You can actually create an interactive on if and what condition. If condition nahi hai XD mein, Azure mein aapko milta hai. InVision also provides you that in design. So depending on what kind of how detailed you want to deep dive into your prototype, or a wireframe, a high fidelity, low fidelity, choose your tool very wisely and accordingly create do that thing. So Akansha says, should we make a portfolio on the single project or we can make a portfolio on multiple projects? I would say your portfolio should reflect a variety. So you should actually, if you have done multiple projects and you want to, so imagine करिए आपने 3 मोबाइल ऐप्स बनाए हैं, एक वेबसाइट बनाई है, एक IoT solution बनाया है और एक product बनाया है. I would say out of 3 mobile apps, pick up only one, because mobile is one domain. Pick up the innovation one, which is website, or a IoT one that kind of talks about variety. Because when your output on the solution is different, your research would be done in differently, your target audience would be different, your approach towards the solution would be different, and that primarily widens your capability to address various type of problems and position you as a very dynamic profile, rather than having only showing one type of projects. Did I answer your question, Akansha? Cool. So try to put multiple projects. Here are quick tips, and in 5 minutes we'll jump to Q&A. If you don't have real projects, then you should put dummy projects. Yes. If you do not get a chance to delve yourself into live projects, pick up some problem. There are n number of problem statement, and with this COVID scenario, there are multiple number of problems that we are seeing around us for various type of profiles: senior citizen, specially able people, people who actually have to go to the location and work, but they cannot do n number of problems. I don't need to count problems, but you can pick any of these problems and start creating a solution for those. And see, when a portfolio is created, it is what matter is the ability to do a research and think innovatively, creatively to create a solution is what a selector is looking into. And that can be done by various hypothetical scenarios, dummy projects that you want to pick about. So if you don't have got a chance to get yourself into live projects, pick up dummy projects, complete that product. Don't pick up large projects. Pick up small projects, good problem statement, good research and solution, and a good UI design, and output of the overall problem statement into a solution, a happy consumer face. Create that thing. How to showcase these problem visually? Various ways, yeah. You can, so tell me one problem and we'll see how can we. Visually, you should sketch it out. You should talk about storyboard. You can put it in photographs. You can talk about actual photographs of the location. Like I said, garbage overflowing. How will you show that thing? फोटो खींच लो सोसाइटी की, डाल दो वहां पे ये प्रॉब्लम था, लेकिन आपने जब सोल्यूशन बनाया उसके बाद वो रियल फोटो भी डाल दो. हाउ वी सॉल्व केस स्टडी आई डिड नॉट गेट योर क्वेश्चन, सॉरी शिवानी. Case study is primarily a document which has three modules, as like I said, a problem statement, a solution, and how it benefits the business. So your document it's either in a PDF format or in a PPT format. So you talk about a problem statement, you talk about how you attacked to that problem and created a solution on the basis of research that you did on a targeted user group, and then how you created a solution for that, and then how that when that solution was implemented, how did that benefited the end user. So that is the way you would be actually creating a case study document. So guys, hold your questions. We are coming there, and we'll go there. We'll address all the questions in the next hours. Highest quality of images for your portfolio. Of course, don't try to Google out and put images. You guys are you're getting into an industry where quality is something which matters a lot. So try to get some. There are various licensing images, or even for that matter, royalty-free images available. You can get into these sites and create some good images. Don't use Google image. That is the last thing you should do. Keep it updated. Your portfolio should be updated very, very frequently. It should not be like lying there for ages, unless you're not an artist, and you don't want your portfolio to be. So you keep your art and keep your work in two different groups, or two different profiles rather. Don't mix your art and these things together, because the intent of having a UX portfolio is to grab an attention of a company, a job person who's looking for a job, or a profile that you want to delve yourself into. So create your portfolio from that perspective, while your art should be actually kept separated, because when you create solutions, you don't create it for yourself, you create it for somebody else. So you should not, I have been saying this to all my subordinates, do not fall in love with your work, what you create. आप बहुत रिसर्च करेंगे, बहुत मेहनत करेंगे, and if you'll fall in love with that thing, if somebody start pointing errors on that, it'll start hurting you, it'll start pinching you. So create these projects from a perspective, it is created for somebody else. If somebody gives an input, take it, absorb it, improve it. If it is good to improve, it is not worth it, throw it off. But do not take it. If you will keep your project to your heart, if you love it, it will start hurting you. While if you are creating a painting and art for yourself, then the whole scenario is different. So understand, design and art are two different things. Do not try to combine that thing. Generally, most of the people do this. So do not do that. Prerna, I'll address your question. Prerna, just hold your horse for some time. We are coming there to the question and answer. Make sure the projects flow nicely from one to the next. Yes. So that's what we talked about. We talked about storytelling. We talked about the overall flow. Make it interesting. And the way of making it interesting, we already talked about. Don't add everything that you have created. Yes, this is a very important point. Keep something when you go for an interview to talk about that project. सब कुछ उठा के 100% portfolio के document में मत डाल दीजिए. Keep some insight while you did the research. Keep some humor, joke, that happened while you were doing research with yourself, to talk about it when you're talking with the user. Keep some new learnings that you have happen to have when you were doing the research or creating a solution. Multiple solution came in and I chose to take, instead of A, I took B because of this thing. ये सारी चीजें जो होती हैं while actually executing the projects, keep it with you. Do not put it on the document, because that way your portfolio document should be approximately 70%, and the 30% core insight and the learning should be with you to speak and present. That way, when you combine these two things, then it should become 100%. So do not put anything and everything of the project in the document. Choose your best projects. We already spoke about it. present your most unique creative projects where you think you have done really a good job, you've done really innovation, where people have pat your back, where the consumers are happy. जब आप किसी के साथ रिसर्च करते हैं, उनसे सवाल पूछते हैं, you have taken their time, you have they have requested your effort, they gave you a time, thank them for their effort, and when you're done with the solution, go and show it to them कि आपने मुझे जो समय दिया था, मैंने जो रिसर्च आपसे किया था, आपसे सवाल जवाब किए थे, आपने जो मुझे इनसाइट दी, this is an output I have created. And 99% of the time they would say, yes, this looks good, they would pat your back, they would give you a testimonial that this is a good job done. So one thing that as a user experience guy you should always do is thank to the people who devote time to you, give time to you, and actually help you to close your project and take your project to the next level. So do that thing. Add variety. I already spoke about it. If there are multiple types of project you have delved yourself into, pick up multiple of instead of having 5 mobile solutions, pick up one mobile, one web solution, one IoT or cloud, or stuff like that. Go for quality, not quantity. Do not load your project with 20 projects. Do not load your portfolio with 20 projects. Put 5 but very good projects of those kind, right? So these are some quick tips. I think I already covered most of the questions that we had received, but in case there are some not being answered, let us get into that, and we'll go into it. So Vaibhav and Ruchit, guys, you are there, and how do we do the question and answer? We do it over the camera. Any ideas you have? And let's start this.
Thank you. So we can take it one by one from the beginning, whichever way that you would want, or we can take.
Yes, let's quickly. Whenever somebody is asking a question, they can actually switch on their camera and talk about it, and let us do that.
Sure. Yeah, sure. If someone is actually comfortable coming onto the camera and actually voicing out their question, that will be also great.
Yes.
So I see that.
So I stopped at Prerna. Prerna, over to you. You can come on mic or on a camera, and we can talk about it. Can we make a case study on improving user experience of an existing app by properly following the design process when you're just beginner and put it in your portfolio? Yes, you can do that thing. In case there are some application which has been created, in the past, and the whole psyche of the user have changed in the course of time, and the way that they are adapting to the application is becoming a problem. A very good example is an IRCTC, revamp. If you have seen it recently. IRCTC used to be a pain when you used to go and book a ticket. So that is an existing application. People took an effort to go ahead and revamp the whole user experience of it and create a new solution. And I think they already took those inputs, and now the IRCTC is much better. So you can definitely do that. How to create dummy projects. Dummy projects is picking up problems around you. You can pick up problems of anybody. When you say dummy, it is primarily, as I said, there is a problem, there is a solution, and there is a benefit that the solution does to the user. So you can pick up problems are around us everywhere. So you can pick up any project, and that can be a dummy project where the end users are probably your family, your friends, or somebody who's not connecting it to the business. It is not getting to the business of revenue generation and all. So it can be any dummy project. For one topic, we can make separate UX case study and UI design to showcase. When you say one topic, do you mean one project, one problem statement? Vaibhav, Amin. Why would you want to do two? I'm just trying to understand.
Can we also just request Vaibhav if he wants to take the mic and actually voice out the question as well? What do you say, Shashikant?
Yeah, we can do that.
Hello, sir. Vaibhav here.
Yeah, Vaibhav, go ahead.
Yes, if I am taking one particular topic, and in one separate, I will just look out for UI designs, and for UX case study, I will just look for research and all. Is it fine?
See, when you generally create solutions, so if you look into the design, the 3 phases of UX, I spoke about UX strategy phase, a design phase, and a delivery phase. In design phase, there are 2 parts again. One is, you create a solution by flying open in the sky. No boundaries, no limitations. Create a solution with whatever you think is works best. But then once you've created 4 or 5 solutions, you need to limit that thing with the possibility of actually executing it. Whether the technology that has been allowed, do you actually, would that actually permit that thing? Would the budget allow you to, so for example, quick transport is a problem statement. The best solution is एक hovercraft आ जाए मेरे घर के ऊपर and I can actually go quickly. But budget doesn't allow. Budget allow me to call a Uber cab, right? So I will actually eliminate the hovercraft or a drone approach. So when you actually get into a real-time scenario where the possibility of the project creation happens, then you actually end up into only one best way of executing it. But while you think, yes, there is another way which business doesn't allow and you should be doing it, of course you can go ahead and create a solution for that. And you can create a case study of that thing.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yep. So Shashank says, how much is UX and UI relevant in and important in the field of management? Few of us are pursuing PGDM from MDI. So Shashank, you want to come over the mic? Can we talk?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Hi, tell me.
The same question. So I used to be an architect initially, but I switched to PGDM, and rest of my friends are not from engineering background. So how much is UX and UI relevant in management in PGDM? If someone pursuing marketing, finance, or anything.
So I would say, the first pillar, which is the strategy, understanding your end user, is something wherein, it would actually help you a lot. While you would be getting into a business development kind of a scenario, creating a best proposal for the business problem statement that has been put by your clients or put by your pipeline is something that you would be working on. So to understand your end user, understand your portfolio of the business that you are actually attacking to is the area that UX will help you to. So the strategy phase is something that will actually, you would be delving yourself more. So it will be like 85 to 90% of strategy, probably lesser design and delivery part.
But delivery and the presentation part is also important in all aspects. Means whether it's management or anything, because in any organization we used to present ourselves for our ideas and all. So it ultimately lies onto PPT or something presentable software. So
Yes.
yeah. So by 15% on presentable part is the delivery part. It may be much more than that.
It would vary depending on how the scale of a project or how the whole engagement is, but I think it primarily the higher side on the strategy to understand your end user and the business problem statement.
Okay.
Yeah. Next is Prashant. How to protect right of a unique, innovative case study or a design? Is there anything as a patent uploading Behance with CC is enough? There are various ways, Prashant. Of course, if you are creating something unique, I would recommend go and get it patented and registered. And Behance would not be the right platform to do that because it is international and the patenting rule changes from country to country. So I would recommend you, in case you are going international, register it in an international court. If you are registering it in for a specific country or a geography, then do it that way and then expose it to the user, so that your idea is not stolen and it is not being misutilized. Ritika says, can we add project in which we have only done the research part? Why do you want to do that thing, Ritika? Can you come over the mic, please?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good, Ritika. How are you?
I'm fine. Sir, I just want to know that I have done a project in which I have to do the research part only. So, like, the research part is like it's a huge research part. So, I just want to add that research part of that project in my portfolio. So, like, can I do that thing?
So if the output is something not given, so you are talking about a problem statement and then identifying the problem statement or deep diving into it and defining it more clearly is what you have done. But then you
Yes,
have
sir.
not done that design and solutioning. You have not done the delivery. So it would be,
Yes.
why would that actually, make an impact to a user or somebody who's selecting? I'm answering it from the portfolio development perspective. Keep it in mind. A half-cooked thing would actually not make an impact to the selector. He would be
Sir,
actually, so imagine आप मेरे टेबल पे अगर 10 portfolios आए हैं जिसमें
yes, sir.
I have a complete strategy, design and delivery being done, but one portfolio comes with only strategy part or only research part, I would say it is a half-cooked thing, right?
Yes, sir.
So I would not put that thing there.
Sir, but like it shows like my research part, like how much I am strong in the research area. So like it doesn't help in that way.
Then you should precisely specifically talk about it in that way, that the reason why you are not sharing the other things. So don't make it like khali research dal diya aur khatam kar diya. You say that I was engaged into this, you represent it in and document it in a proper way to tell the user that, or the selector, that why you have done only this and why you are, what are you trying to showcase by putting only research side on that.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Hari
sir.
says, yeah, Hari, you can come on the mic and can you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, hello, sir.
Hi, Hari. Hi, go ahead.
Sir, like when I started my career in graphic designing, my package was around, it's like basic package. So like in these 3 years, I got some appraisals. So now if I'm jumping into a UX, so like will it be like I'm starting like a fresher, or will it continue from a graphic artist? My salary packages and all. If I'm jumping from a graphic designer into UX.
See, yeah, Hari, whatever you have learned in, or whatever projects you have done in last 3 years, it add on to your experience. When you will be getting into a new job, that past 3 years experience will be an add-on along with the UX knowledge that you have got. So whatever salary or stuff that you are talking about would definitely be an add-on. It would be actually an additional perk that you would be getting with the UX knowledge being added as a profile to you. So I think in terms of salary, you would get more and more percentage of the hike, because now your design talks, the science behind the design would be actually different than what you have been doing in the past. So I think it will be multifold increased rather than some simple way.
Absolutely.
How
Okay,
different
sir.
is the
Thank
case
you.
study? Did I answer, Hari, to your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Cool. Hussaini says, how different is the case study versus project report? Hussaini, can you come on the mic, please? So quickly to answer you, case study is primarily a summarized version of the overall product solution that you have created, so that a user can, or the profile that is looking into that document can quickly understand the problem statement, the solution, and how it benefited the business. Whereas a project report includes very minute nuances of what kind of technology was used, what strategy was built in to create a solution, why that solution, why that technology. A very minute details of the project is also included in the report. So if you ask me, a case study is primarily 2-pager document, but a project report is probably a 15 to 20-pager document. So I think that's the major difference. It's very detailed. The project report is very detailed. Swapnali Gundali says, how important is to know coding as a UI designer? So Swapnali, can you come on mic? Can I understand your question better?
Hello, sir.
Hi.
So recently I submitted an assignment for a job interview. So in their requirements, they had just written that knowing HTML and CSS is a plus, but their job profile was of a visual designer. But when they gave me the assignment, they expected me to code a mailer. So I have researched a lot about UI designers should not be knowing how to code. But then, is it like expected to code when we actually join the job? Because my whole thing is into designing and I cannot code. So it will be a wrong path for me.
No, see, what has happened is, there are various kind of hybrid profile have got evolved in the course of time. And the expectations, I'll tell you what corporates actually have as an expectation. So I'll paint two scenarios right now. First scenario, a project which needs, to be executed needs, first of all, a UX guy who kind of does a UX research on the end user, understand the target group, understand the business problem, and then on the basis of the research, he creates a solution, which is, an ideation and, innovation that is included. And then on the basis of that innovation, he creates a wireframe, and that wireframe, and that when that wireframe is created, a guideline document is created, and that is given to a UI designer. So here the job of a user experience guy ends. So he does research, he does some solutioning, he creates wireframe, create documents, reports, and gives it to the UI designer. A UI designer picks it from there. On the basis of how a wireframe has been done, he creates the look and feel, keeping in mind the branding, the visual language, the color psychology, and the other stuff. He creates assets for the developer, and then he delivers that to a developer, a UI developer. Now, developer has multiple layers. First is a UI developer who creates the front end, the look and feel, कोडिंग बटन को क्लिक किया तो वो पॉप होना चाहिए, एक स्लाइड होना चाहिए, एनिमेशन, माइक्रो एनिमेशन, दोस काइंड ऑफ थिंग. So that happens with the third profile, which is a UI developer. Then a UI developer delivers that whole thing to a coder, a developer who puts coding behind, whether it is Java, .NET, various type of languages available there. So they start giving a behavior and the way when you click it, वो database में जाके save होगा. जब आप उसको रिफ्रेश करोगे, ग्रिड ऑटोमेटिकली डेटाबेस से लाके कौन लॉगिन है उसका डेटा दिखाएगा. तो वो लेवल की प्रोग्रामिंग फिर वो चौथा पांचवा प्रोफाइल कर रहा है, कोडर कर रहा है. देन इट गोज टू अ टेस्टर which is test whether all these functionalities that has been done from initial profile is working well to the end user. Now see, from the business perspective, what has happened, there are 7 profiles which got added. And when we say 7 profiles, these 7 profile are cost to the company. पहला वाला बंदा कुछ 15 लाख एनुअली में आ रहा होगा, दूसरा वाला बंदा कुछ 10 लाख एनुअली में आ रहा होगा, तीसरा वाला बंदा भी कुछ 10-15 लाख एनुअली में आ रहा होगा, चौथा वाला बंदा वैसे ही 15-20 लाख के एनुअली में आ रहा होगा. Now all these resources which are engaged from the UX research to the app being developed, or the web application being developed and deploy for the end user to use, 7-8 profiles are actually working, and that is a cost to the company. Now what happened, people wanted कि कोई UX वाला और UI वाला का combination मुझे मिल जाए. So जो 10 लाख और 15 लाख है, वो 25 लाख का खर्चा मेरे लिए सिर्फ 10 लाख में हो जाए. So a UX guy who is a hybrid resource, who is also doing a UI development for me. There is a hybrid resource of UI and front-end coder. Somebody who is a good Photoshop guy, but can also do HTML coding, or like you said, he was expecting you to create a coding for a HTML emailer, which is responsive, or whatever kind of output that he was expecting. The point that they are trying to do is they are trying to cut down on the cost by creating a multiple hybrid profile, whether it is UX and UI, whether it's UI and front end, whether it's front end and coder, whether it's coder and tester. They're trying to add all these things together. Now, when you create these kind of hybrid profile, business definitely gets benefit. But at the resource side, क्या होता है? जैसा आपने problem बोला, मुझे सिर्फ graphic design में रहना है. I don't want to get into coding. So then you should always keep in your mind that what is the borderline that you would not be crossing. You would be actually a UX and UI profile. Yes, you are on very much demand. but that is a good area to be, because आपको एक नया skill, एक logic building पे नहीं जाना है. Understand, जहाँ पे UI development UI designing खत्म होती है, उसके बाद जो front end coding आती है, left brain and right brain का balance change हो रहा है. What is logic? Logic works with very specific, programming approach is logic building happens with that. Programming happens with that. But uske pehle, it is all creative. It is all right brain side. The moment you are moving from this side to that side, you are actually little confused कि क्या करना है भाई, जाना किधर है. And that is something, the choice that you have to make. अगर आप वो balance कर सकते हो, अगर आप वो manage कर सकते हैं, then go to that kind of an hybrid project. अगर आप नहीं कर सकते हैं, keep yourself as a hybrid profile, which is more of a UX and UI, not UX and front end developer. Right?
Yes.
That's the decision you have to take. Did I answer your question, Sapnali?
Yes, sir. So also one more thing. So now here making a choice is what I would prefer is what you said. But then this requirement changes from company to company, right? Is it necessary that going ahead in future, there will be roles mandatorily where UI designers must know coding, maybe because they will be hiring hybrid designers?
No, I think it will become mandatory for a UI designer to be a UX guy. But a UI designer to be a coder, I don't think that will become mandatory at any point.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Next is Amit. How can be self-taught UX UI designer? Ajit, there are various ways. YouTube is flooded with these kind of content. There are multiple blogs, interaction design, but I would recommend take a structure approach. Self-taught is good, but that should be your driving force. Take a structure content, engage yourself with companies like Imagine XP, which will give you a framework. 6D is a patented framework by these guys, and that helps solve the problem very nicely. आप बाहर जाएंगे तो आपको ऐसे structures नहीं मिलेंगे, but you can learn. YouTube में बहुत content पड़ा है. If you want to do it yourself, see वही है ना, अगर हम खुद से खेती करें, धान उगाएं, चावल के लिए वेट करें for getter, we can do that thing. But the best way is go to the R-Mart and bring one, bag of our rice. Easy, right? It's your call how much you want yourself to delve into. Shweta, sir, your background looks so real for a moment. I thought it is real. It is real. This is my house. I am sitting in San Francisco. I'm in Pune. This is a virtual background. I'm working from my bedroom, guys. A very shabby background, so I did not wanted to show you that. Shivani Ladhani, tell me, we could make summary for research part. Shivani, can you come on mic? Just elaborate on your question, please. Shivani, you there? We'll wait for Shivani to come. Let's take Prerna. How should you end a case study? What should you mention in the end? The end should be actually benefit, how it has benefited the user, whatever solution that you created. Like I said, आप जिन users के साथ research कर रहे हैं, interviews कर रहे हैं, questionnaires कर रहे हैं, once you have taken their input and you've created a solution, take that solution and take a feedback from them. And their feedback is something which is actually how it is benefiting them. And that you should mention in case it is a hypothetical scenario or a dummy project. But in case it is a real project, you would automatically get an output from the solution that you created, and you should put that in the end of the project report or the case study. How can I learn graphics design by self? I don't have a knowledge in UI part. Should I start UX before this? Moni, yes. UI is different and UX is different. UX is more about understanding the end user, understanding the psyche of a user, its environment, its problem statement. UI is about representing in the whole thing in a color, balance, design. So these are two very different things. I would recommend, yes, they are two different individual domain. The way you want to take as a precedence. Whatever you like, you should take it that way. I think you can do that in parallel as well. It will not harm you either ways. Hussaini says, thank you so much for this, and I like the participation. Thanks so much, Hussaini, for asking question as well. Satyan, I am a freelancer web designer, front-end developer who transit to UX recently. My clients are from US and Canada. I cannot follow typical UX project as the client of project doesn't allow this for the budget and time. This is the reason I do not have my UX expertise in evident form. Also, reverse engineering the case study feels fake. How do I come up with a better case study and get a UX project? Okay, this is a different problem. Satyan, you want to come over, Mike? Let's discuss it out.
Yes. Yeah. Hi, Shashikant.
Hi, tell me.
Yeah. So I have good experience, like 15 plus years in web designing and development.
Yeah.
And I have got good clients from US and Canada. The thing is, we do not follow the typical UX process, like any like design thinking process or 6D or take any, because of the time constraints, and the client wants, like I'm part of the team. So I have to take whatever is possible is coming to my part, and I have to make designs, I have to develop them, and I have to deliver. So the thing is, I am not having good case studies in hand to apply for new jobs, maybe on contract basis or maybe on regular basis or anything. So that is where my difficulty part is. Rather, like I'm busy with my work, but the thing is, I'm not actually working in a UX project, which I really want to. So and like many people told me that you can reverse engineer the process, like go from visual design to wireframes to, and then maybe make some personas, and that is how you will come up with a case study. But I really believe
I would not recommend that. Not
yeah,
doing
exactly.
that.
That is quite a fake thing, and I really don't want to go that way. So
why don't you do the whole thing in your, so create it as a, see, there are two concerns that I see right now. First is whether you can actually take that project and put it, because generally business have their own restrictions, whether you can actually show it to in your personal profile or not. So I'm not sure whether your client has given an approval or not, but take that in mind. Do not do that without asking and taking a consent of this. To everyone actually, अगर आप किसी client के projects पे काम कर रहे हैं, do take their consent before you publish on your personal profile, because these are business critical solutions. Because you have worked it doesn't make you a owner of that thing. So company से आप पहले एक written email ले लीजिए और उसके बाद उसे अपने Behance या Dribbble या Instagram में डालिए, because without that company can come and sue you, because that's an international intellectual property of that company. It is not yours. So keep that in mind. So that's point number one. Point number two, Satyan, to coming to you, why don't you take that problem statement that this solution is kind of getting into, and do a hypothesis and create a dummy out of it. So if you think that you can actually execute this in a better way, so अभी वो जिस तरह से solution कर रहे हैं, आप उसको अपनी तरह से पूरा UX process करके redesign करिए, and you follow the overall stuff in separate way. I know it's an additional effort along with the job. It is difficult to do it, but then that way you will be actually able to do a real justice to the problem statement and able to create something which actually is not probably an output. And then you can go and show that to the management, saying that, this is what I did, and this is how the output changes drastically. Because I'm sure when you do a user research, this is my personal experience, clients को भी नहीं पता होता है कि ये problem actually business का है. लेकिन जब आप user research करने जाते हो, and when you start doing, interacting with them, something new comes out. When a client gives you the Word document in a RFP, वो mention भी नहीं होता है. लेकिन जब आप user research करते हो, वो एक बहुत solid problem जैसा निकल के बाहर आता है, with multiple people, portraying the problem statement. And then when you create a solution for that thing, उनका आधा से ज़्यादा business problem solve हो जाता है. This is my personal experience, and this has happened with not less than 3 or 4 projects with me, in insurance and in banking. So why don't you take that effort and do that thing so that you can actually, have a better UX flow of the whole stuff. Satyan, did I answer your question?
Yes, very well. Yeah. And
Prasenjit, how to define yourself if you are a UI designer and less of a research? Can we call ourselves a UI UX designer? Yes, of course you can. If you have done UX, if you know research process, you can call yourself as a UX, UI UX. Actually, UX comes first, and then the delivery goes to UI, hence it swaps. So you should always call yourself as a UX UI designer or a developer.
So, hi,
Yeah.
sir. Good afternoon. Sir, in context to this, I had the query कि मान लीजिए आप रिसर्च करते हो and you are like 40% या 30% you are interested into the user research, ठीक है. उसके बाद आप UI designing पे ज़्यादा फोकस करना चाहते हो, like 60% of it. So how will the industry will capture you? Like they will see you as a UX researcher. बाद में ये चीज़ ना हो कि ठीक है आपने तो UX UI डिजाइनर हो तो आप रिसर्च पे भी 50% कर लो और उस पे 50% कर लो. So will the designer will be able to handle the research and the UI part designing the thing, या उस पे बहुत ज्यादा बर्डन हो जाएगा इंडस्ट्री पे जाने के बाद? लाइक ऐसा ना हो कि सर मैंने रिसर्च भी कर लिया, मुझे तो इंटरेस्ट है लेकिन मैं डिजाइनिंग भी करना चाहता हूँ, और शुड वी बी लिमिटेड टू द एनी वन ऑफ इट मोर?
मैंने जैसे शुरू में बोला ना, you should actually decide it on the basis of what will make you Monday morning to go to the job. Monday morning are pains, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to go to the job issue. लेकिन अगर आपका जॉब अगर आपको बहुत पसंद है, the kind of work that you are executing, you passionately follow that thing, that is the decision maker for you. So आप decide करिए कि is it the strategy that will give you the kick to go to Monday morning, or is it the design that you are creating very awesome will actually give it a kick to the Monday morning, and that will actually decide for your portfolio as well. So आप जिस तरह का काम करना चाहते हैं, आप जिस तरह की प्रोफाइल में अपने आप को डेवलप करना चाहते हैं, I would say choose that one. इंडस्ट्री तो हर चीज मांगेगा यार. इफ यू आस्क मी, देयर आर एन नंबर ऑफ डिमांड्स इन द इंडस्ट्री. जैसे भी स्वप्नाली ने बोला, लेफ्ट ब्रेन एंड राइट ब्रेन, लॉजिकल ब्रेन विच इज अ कोडिंग, राइट ब्रेन विच इज अ क्रिएटिव इनोवेशन, न्यू थिंग्स क्रिएशन, उसका भी कॉम्बिनेशन मांग रहा है. इंडस्ट्री वैसा भी करेगा. इट इज डिफिकल्ट टू फाइंड. लेकिन हमको वी हैव टू बी अ हैप्पी output provider, that you will provide a good output only when you are happy, when you're doing it with your liking area. So I would say you decide out which path you want to take. अगर आप strategist बनना चाहते हैं, if you think that gives you a kick, you focus more on a strategy, and if that will drive you on a Monday morning to the office, do that thing. So you create your portfolio from that perspective.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Right? Because do we need to show process like 6D other in the portfolio? You should talk about it. I would say 6D is a very well defined framework by IXP. If you know about it, you should talk about it, because the way it presents is this guy has a knowledge of the UX. He understands the flow. He understands what comes first, what comes second, what comes third. So I would recommend, yes, you should do that thing. For a UX case study, how to decide which process works better? Can we go to 6D process for all? And what elements should be considered in deciding which process is good? Siddhartha, can you come on mic? Elaborate a little on the question.
Yeah, I'm audible.
Yeah, you are.
Mr. Shashikant, the thing is like for different set of the projects, I'm seeing different set of processes. So how do you define a process? Like based on the audience, or based on the company, or based on the product? I mean, like what kind of process do we need, and what is that first thing that we take on to the consideration to decide the process? So that is the main thing.
I would recommend you, as per my experience, on the basis of a business requirement. So 90% of the time, we are hard pressed on the time in terms of the delivery that is expected out. Second is, the reachability to the end user. You are sitting in India, Pune, Mumbai, but your target group is sitting in, say, California or US. So does your business provides you the flexibility to reach your consumer? Whatever process that you are picking up, what level of detail interaction would that be, allowing you to do a research, to get into a deep diving into the problem statement, to talk to them. When we do research, we have two type of research: qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative actually helps you to very deep dive and understand the psyche of a user. Empathy, observational research, various type of things we delve ourselves into. Now, if your business allows you to do that thing, I think that is the right way. अगर वो नहीं अलाउ करता, आप ट्रैवल नहीं कर सकते हैं, आप उन consumers के साथ बात नहीं कर सकते हैं. You change your path, right? You change your tools. You'll do it in the different way. So instead of taking your decisions to choose which one to which process to take, I think it's more of a business driven and time driven. कई बार ऐसा भी होता है कि 3 महीने में UX and UI and front end भी खत्म करना है. The business requirement comes that way, because if product is not launched in a specific tenure of a time, the whole effort will go waste. So you will cut down on the stuffs. So I think it is more of a business driven rather than other factors.
Okay, Shishka. But the thing is, like, I have come across a few processes which this tell me, like, if you are following this process, then you shouldn't include user interviews also, because of this product is not relatable to that. So in that way, I came across a process called double diamond, and they even told me like the double diamond process is outdated. So are there any new trends in the process, like which kind of process apart from 6D? So what are the processes that we could consider?
See, I'll tell you, these processes are actually nothing but a branding technique. If you like I spoke some time back, user experience engineering lies in the business domain from last 30-40 years. अगर आप एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री में जाएंगे, आपका पूरा यूएक्स प्रोसेस वहाँ पे प्रॉपरली इम्प्लीमेंटेड देखेंगे जो अरसों से चला आ रहा है. It has been kind of they have been following it in a very large duration and time, that they have been already doing it, because without that, creating a similar product of lakhs and lakhs of quantity is not possible. They have to follow that process. And recently it has come to digital and IT, and it has become a fad. It has become a bubble, very big bubble, and everybody is coining that. Some says it's 3D process, some says it's 5D process, some says it. आप TCS में जाइए, TCS का 5D process है. There is somebody called it double diamond, like you said right now. Somebody called it 3D process. So process doesn't matter. What matter is strategy, design, and define. ये जो 3 pillars हैं, एक sequential way of understanding the problem, creating a solution in the restricted scenario that a business has, and then defining that thing overall for a output is something which is important, and that is what is UX. So I would say don't fall in trap with the framework. Follow these 3 things, and I think you should be good in either ways.
Okay, Shashank. Just one last question, like from the HR point of view, from the interviewer point of view, like how does the profile look good? If you have the 6D process for all the case studies, for example, I have 4 case studies with me right now. So if I just include just all the case studies with 6D process, does it look good, or should I include one more process to show him that I had been into multiple formats?
I think it would be good to have a 6D process mentioned, because in some you would have done research in a different way, because every project is different, and every project has a different learning and a different output. The beauty of a UX domain is so nice that every time you do a new project, you learn something new. You get a new insight, you get a new visibility to the whole problem. So I would recommend you put 6D process on every project, because that is a new way of looking at the whole business.
Okay, Shashikant. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Welcome. Yeah, next is I don't have the name. Hello, sir. Should every portfolio be uploaded on the internet? Also, the course of ImagineXP mentioned that one project will be done to the end. So should we make? Sorry, guys. Can you come on the line? Your name is not mentioned. Who's this?
Hello, sir. I'm Malika.
Hi, Malika. Yeah, tell me. Malika, you went on mute. I can't hear you. I think Malika has internet issue. Also, the course by ImagineXP that
Hello.
one. Yeah. Go ahead, Malika. We can hear you now.
Sir, so my doubt is that when we create a portfolio, can we send that through any PDF form, or should every portfolio be uploaded onto the internet? If so, how should we upload it?
I already had a very good discussion on this, Malika. I think you missed on it. I would recommend, that should be on the basis of how your selector wants the document to be in terms of the representation. Whether you want these to be publicly available, it totally depends on how you want that to be done. When you are sending it to any employer or a selector, it should be on the basis of how do they want that document to be, because whatever format you are sending it to them should be receivable also in the similar format how you are sending it. So वो पहले check कर लीजिए and accordingly you send it to them. So that is the
Okay,
best way.
sir. Okay, sir. And another doubt is that, like, the course, when I inquired with, they said that what they will make us do a single project. So, like, should we add more projects that we create on our own to the portfolio?
Yes, if you have multiple projects, the variety and the versatility of your profile actually is showcased. So I would say yes, put multiple portfolios out there. So that way, it shows that how you have a varied experience and a varied research done for various type of stuffs. So it's a good thing to put multiple.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Multiple
So,
projects.
like, while one project is going on through the course, like, should we simultaneously work on other projects to, like, to add them?
ये अभी तो आपके पास चॉइस है, लेकिन जब आप कॉर्पोरेट में जाएंगे तो चॉइस नहीं होगा, ये मैंडेटरी हो जाएगा. आप एक साथ दो तीन प्रोजेक्ट्स में काम करेंगे and you will be time pressed and all that stuff. But yes, you can do multiple projects. Why should not?
Like, if we don't do, is it enough that we include only one project in our portfolio?
Yeah, that's your choice. Yep.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I think we're good with the questions on the chat box. If anybody has any more questions, you can come over mic, come over camera and talk about it. And if you are good, then I think we are done for the stuff.
Absolutely. Plus, I think we also missed out on Shivani because I think she was not also available to come on the mic. If Shivani is there, please do come on the mic and you can ask your question. I think you were asking about writing a summary for research part. If Shivani is also there, we can just quickly take your question, and then if there are any follow-up questions that people have, you can just put it on the chat section as Shashikant has just mentioned, and yeah. Okay. I think we're good with everybody's questions. Ruchit, would you want to wrap up, or Shashikant, would you want to wrap up?
Yeah, I think we're good. This was a good session and very nice questions asked by people.
So I have a
Yeah, go
question,
ahead. Go ahead, Prasenjit.
Hi sir. Sir, जैसा आपने बताया था कि to present your portfolio through a video might also have a good points on it, score to have. So my point is that कि sir जैसा problem strategy and design वाला चीज है, like I am from the advertising background and I have been like following every campaign in the shape of a case study, and case study means कि मतलब हम क्या करते हैं कि वीडियो को ना पहले problems दिखाते हैं and like the insight we have reached upon and the solution with the design या outdoor branding जो भी हम करते हैं. So is that the same thing we can follow? Like, can I just call it as a case study in a video and just present my portfolio like that?
Yeah, of course. Why not? See, if you look into the whole strategy part, आप कोई भी film उठा लीजिए, कोई भी film उठाइए. There is a problem statement, there is a solution, there is an implementation, there is a happy ending or a sad ending. There is an outcome, right?
Yeah.
ये क्या बोलना चाहिए, underlying strategy of any problem statement journey or a solutioning journey it is. So this is the best way to represent a story. आप comics उठाइए, comics की जो flow होती है वो भी यही होती है. एक overview होता है, एक problem statement होता है, एक solutioning होता है, एक outcome होता है, right? Every whether it's a business, problem statement, it is again solutioning, innovation, and outcome, how it is benefiting to the business. So that is what we are talking about, is a very last layer, जो नींव होती है ना किसी चीज की, बेस, हम उसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. अगर आपने वो सही रख दी तो उसके ऊपर कितना बड़ा भी आप चीज खड़ा करिए, आपकी नींव अच्छी है तो सब कुछ सही होगा.
Okay, sir.
You should actually, what you're doing is actually is something you should, that what I was talking about. अगर आप ये अप्रोच लेके अपना कंटेंट पैकेज करेंगे एंड स्टोरी टेलिंग करेंगे, स्टिकीनेस बिल्ट होना जरूरी है, बाय डिफॉल्ट हो जाएगा वो, बिकॉज आप एक प्रॉब्लम की बात कर रहे हैं और लोगों को प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन जानना होता है.
इस चीज में ओके फाइन, प्रॉब्लम दिखा दिया, फिर हम लोगों ने इंटरव्यूज, टेस्टिमोनियल्स की हाँ हमें सॉल्यूशन मिल गया, ये सब तो ठीक है, बट व्हाट द थिंग कि अगर वो यूआई जो डिजाइन हम लोग इंटरफेस बनाएंगे, लाइक से कि हम लोग जेपेग में तो वो अपलोड कर देंगे, वो बहुत अच्छा निकल के आएगा, बट वो वीडियो में दिखाना, हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल कि उसको कैसे हम रिप्रेजेंट करें?
हाउ बोला तो अभी मैं आपको हाउ कैसे बताऊं यहाँ पे, बट देयर आर वेरियस वेज. अगर आप थोड़ा यूट्यूब से हटके अगर आप दूसरे चैनल्स में जाएंगे, लाइक विमियो में जाइए, डेली मोशंस में जाइए, देयर आर मेनी अदर साइट्स आल्सो. Try to, we generally get biased with, you know, the one of the flow, and that too with geofencing thing. हम एक ही तरह की चीजें देखने लगते हैं, you know, AI के थ्रू हम हमारा जो preferential way of, this is in a way bad, you know, for us as a creative people. Because मैं अगर games के वीडियो देख रहा हूँ या comedy के वीडियो देख रहा हूँ, it start pushing same type of videos. It doesn't allow us to, so that is becoming bad. I would say have a look into these other kind of channels. Where they are representing, I think Vimeo is very good for designers. Behance के videos देखिए आप, so where the problem statement is defined, and you know, I think even Bollywood films are, and Hollywood films also do the same thing. But how creatively they present it and package it is something you should. It's a art of storytelling. अगर आप अपने UX process में जब हम story board बनाते हैं, story board में कैसे हम एक character बनाते हैं जो पहले तकलीफ में था, उसका प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट था, फिर बाद में हम उसका सोल्यूशनिंग बनाते हैं, उसका पुराना स्टेट बनाते हैं, करंट स्टेट बनाते हैं विद सोल्यूशन, एंड देन ही गॉट इनटू द बेनिफिट. सो इट्स द सेम प्रोसेस, राइट? वीडियो में भी हम स्टोरी बोर्ड बनाते हैं, स्केचेस करते हैं, so it's same thing how you can represent that way.
Yes sir, ठीक.
हेलो सर.
हाय अरबाज, या
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था कि क्या यूएक्स डिजाइन, जो यूएक्स के जितने भी प्रोसेस है वो हम टीम में कर सकते हैं, मतलब प्रोसेस बाय प्रोसेस कि आप ये करिए पहले बार, या कोई दूसरा कोई और प्रोसेस पे काम कर रहा है, या फिर एक ही पर्सन को पूरा प्रोसेस करना चाहिए?
अगर आप एक स्टार्टअप में काम करेंगे तो कॉस्ट की वजह से आप एक ही रिसोर्स होंगे जो पूरा प्रोसेस करेगा. लेकिन अगर आप एक एमएनसी में जाएंगे, लार्ज कॉर्पोरेट लाइक कॉग्निजेंट, इन्फोसिस, अगर यहाँ जाएंगे तो आप प्रोबेबली पूरा एंड टू एंड प्रोसेस नहीं करेंगे, आप एक मॉड्यूल पे काम करेंगे या एक छोटे से रिसर्च पे ही काम करेंगे. सो इट वुड वेरी how the business is, or how the company is, or even for that matter how the business accessibility is. हो सकता है आप एक ऐसा सोल्यूशन बिल्ड कर रहे हैं जो यहाँ से कई किलोमीटर दूर की कंट्री में एक टारगेटेड ग्रुप में एक यूजर के लिए है, तो आपको उनका एक्सेस नहीं है, आप उनसे इंटरनेट के जरिए या टेलीफोन के जरिए कनेक्ट करेंगे. सो वो वेरी होता रहेगा, और वो प्रोजेक्ट बाय प्रोजेक्ट, बिजनेस बाय बिजनेस डिफरेंट होगा. हर बार शायद वो डिफरेंट हो. कई बार हो सकता है आप खुद एक चीज को एंड टू एंड एग्जीक्यूट करें, कई बार हो सकता है कि आप सिर्फ एक छोटे से मॉड्यूल पे ही काम करें, ऐसा भी होता है. दैट्स हाउ द रियल वर्ल्ड सिनेरियो.
ओके, बट सर क्या यूएक्स जो है वो मतलब डिपेंड नहीं करता कि पहले आपने फर्स्ट स्टेप पूरा किया हो 6 जीने से, फिर उसके बाद उसके कंप्लीट होने के बाद ही आप सेकंड पे जा सकते हो? मतलब
डिपेंड करता है.
ओके, तो सर ऐसा तो पॉसिबल हो ही नहीं सकता कि आप काम को बांट दे 5 लोगों में अपनी टीम में?
नहीं, काम को बांट सकते हैं, इन सीक्वेंशियल वे में काम करेंगे. जैसे जब तक यूएक्स वाला फ्रेम नहीं देगा, यूआई डिजाइनर यूआई नहीं बना सकता, तो वो डिपेंडेंसी तो बिल्ट ही है ना. और जब तक यूआई वाला यूआई नहीं बनाएगा, डेवलपर कोडिंग नहीं कर सकता, तो वो डिपेंडेंसी ही है. तो वो तो टीम में काम करते ही हैं लोग.
हाँ, बट तो फिर काम को हम बांटेंगे कैसे? मतलब हम क्या, मतलब एक ही स्टेप पे पूरी टीम को होनी चाहिए कि मतलब सभी एक ही स्टेज पे हो
ना? वो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट का जो आपको कॉर्पोरेट्स में पीएम बैठे हुए दिखते हैं, जो पीपल मैनेजमेंट एंड प्रोसेस मैनेजमेंट, दे काइंड ऑफ डू दैट. तो वो उसी तरह से एंगेज करते हैं। आप प्रोजेक्ट में तभी एंगेज होंगे अगर आप मान लीजिए वायर फ्रेमिंग वाले हैं, आपको सिर्फ वायर फ्रेमिंग मॉड्यूल मिल रहा है, तो आप तब तक उस प्रोजेक्ट में एंगेज नहीं होंगे जब तक यूजर रिसर्च कर नहीं लिया गया होगा। तो आपको आपकी बिलिंग चालू नहीं होगी, बिकॉज अगर आपको पहले से ही बैठा के रखें तो आपकी बिलिंग जाएगी ना, वो बिजनेस में माइनस होगा, वो कॉस्ट इज नॉट समथिंग। सो दैट इज द जॉब ऑफ अ पीएम, व्हिच काइंड ऑफ does when to onboard somebody and when to offload a user or a resource. So वो properly होता है, उसका issue नहीं है।
Okay, thank you.
Ajit says, which one is beneficial, generalist or a specialist? I would say this is the answer you should give it to us. Instead of, you should deep dive, अपने अंदर झांक के देखिए आप अपने आप को कैसे पोजीशन करना चाहते हैं। अगर आप एक स्पेशलिस्ट की तरह एक स्पेसिफिक डोमेन में काम करना चाहते हैं, विच इज से रिसर्च या क्रिएटिव आउटपुट या गाइडलाइन डेवलपमेंट or something as an innovation and solutioning, you decide, or if you want to go there, you can definitely go there, and then you would be engaging on the projects where you are actually giving your core in that specific domain. लेकिन अगर आप एक जनरल सभी 6D प्रोसेस में काम करना चाहते हैं, you position yourself that way. It's not an answer that I can give, it's an answer that you can give to yourself. Okay, I think I answered almost all of you guys, and it was a good session. I think Vaibhav and Ruchit, we are good.
Yeah, we are good, Shashikant. Before we wind up the session, can we ask all the attendees to switch on their video so that we can take a screenshot of such an insightful session? If anyone or everyone feels comfortable, they can switch on their video.
Yes. Hi Satyen.
Hi Satyen.
Hi.
Scan 1990.
Hi Satyen, we have uploaded your testimonial. I hope you have seen it.
Yeah. Your audio is not there. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, so it was a lockdown period and I shaved my head. My color were gray. So next time I would try to make a better video, a better looking video, I must say. Yeah, but I enjoyed the video and I just hope that it was helpful. Yes.
Yeah, it was really helpful and such a very insightful for our students. And thank you so much for everyone for attending this session. And Shashikant, if you can tell our students if they want to connect with you, then what are all possible mediums they can reach out to you?
Yes, I have a slider actually created for that. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
So you guys can see my screen now. This is where you can actually come and connect with me. So I have my social media handle as Shashi Kalcha. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I am right now running this company called CodeQuay.com. I also have an app launched called Yellow App, which is a social media and a data science based app. I run a creative website called ApiArt, primarily for the artists and painters, if there are some. You can come and put your paintings here for an e-commerce. If you want to sell it, you can post it here. So, and let's connect. Let's talk about it, the design over social media. If there are problems, we'll discuss it out. Let's build our community.
That's amazing, Shashikant. If anyone has or have any follow-up questions, they can connect with our UX evangelist, Mahesh Kumar. I have already shared his number. And yeah, we will ready to help you guys to start your UX journey. So It was great having you guys. Thank you so much for such an insightful session.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Have a good day, guys. Best of luck for your future. If there's anything, I'm always reachable. Connect me. We can definitely work together.